Okay, so let's talk about one of the most heart-stopping sounds a car owner can ever hear. That sudden, rhythmic knocking coming from under the hood. It's the kind of sound that instantly gives you that sinking feeling in your stomach. But what does it actually mean?
Yeah, if you've ever heard that sound, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It feels like your car is trying to tell you something is very, very wrong, but it's speaking in a language of thuds and clicks and clacks. It's definitely unnerving, but hey, don't panic just yet. Because right here, in the next few minutes, we are going to decode that sound. We're going to figure out what your engine is trying to say, and I'm going to give you a super clear, simple action plan so you know precisely what to do next.
All right, to solve this whole mystery, the first thing you have to know, and this is the most important clue, is that not all knocks are created equal. In fact, every single engine knock you'll ever hear falls into one of two main families. So you've got two paths here. On one side, you have a mechanical knock. Just think of this as a physical problem. Actual metal parts that aren't supposed to touch are smacking into each other. Then on the other side, you have a detonation knock. This is all about timing. The bang that powers your engine is happening at the absolute wrong moment. So is it a parts problem or is it a timing problem? Let's dig in. Let's start with the mechanical side of things. This is the one that really sounds like something is physically broken because, well, it probably is. And for this part of the investigation, your ears are your #1 tool.
Within this mechanical family, there are three main suspects we're always listening for. Each one has its own unique sound, its own kind of signature. Learning to hear the difference is the key to knowing just how serious this might be.
So first, just listen. What's the quality of the sound? Is it a deep, heavy, and frankly expensive-sounding thud, the kind of sound that gets faster and louder as you give it some gas? Now, where's it coming from? If that deep thud feels like it's coming from the lower half of your engine, you might be dealing with the most serious one of all, a rod knock. That means there's a problem with the bearings deep inside your engine. Not good. But what if this sound is totally different? What if it's not a deep thud, but more of a lighter, faster sound? Kind of like a tapping or a clacking, almost like a sewing machine that's really, really angry. And if that sound is clearly coming from the top part of the engine, well, that points us in a completely different direction. This usually means an issue with the valves or the lifters. It's still serious, don't get me wrong, but it's often way less catastrophic than a rod knock. And then there's a weird one called piston slap. The big clue here is all about temperature. You'll hear that knocking noise when the engine's cold, but as the car warms up and the metal parts expand, the sound can actually fade away or even disappear completely. So, if you hear any of these mechanical noises, your first move before you even think about anything else is always the same. Pop the hood and check your oil. Seriously. Low or old, dirty oil is one of the biggest reasons parts start failing, because they're just not getting lubricated. This is your most critical first check. Okay, so that's the mechanical stuff. But let's switch gears. What if the noise isn't from parts hitting each other? What if it's a problem with the combustion, the bang itself? Well, that's what we call a detonation knock. You see, your engine runs on a super precise rhythm of tiny, controlled explosions. Detonation, and you might hear people call it pinging, is what happens when that explosion goes off too early. It's like it's fighting against the engine's natural rhythm, creating a shockwave you hear as a knock. So how in the world do you diagnose this one? Well, here's the good news. Unlike a lot of mechanical issues, your car's computer is almost always aware of a detonation problem. A cheap little OBD2 scanner can plug right in and read the error codes for you. It'll point you right to the problem. And what might that scanner tell you? Well, it could be a few things. Maybe the timing chain that keeps everything in sync has slipped a tooth. Or you could have a faulty sensor that's feeding the computer bad info. It could even be something as simple as worn-out spark plugs or some carbon buildup inside the engine. That error code is your treasure map. So, you've heard a knock. You've got an idea of whether it's mechanical or if it's detonation. But no matter what you think it is, what do you do right now in this moment? Here is the only right answer. It's a simple 3-step plan. Number 1, pull over and stop the car as soon as it's safe. Just continuing to drive can turn a simple fix into a total disaster. 2, do that immediate oil check. It takes 60 seconds. And 3, and this is the big one, get the car to a professional mechanic. Don't guess. Because here's the bottom line. An engine knock is never, ever something to ignore. It is a loud, clear, flashing red warning sign that something is wrong. By acting on it immediately, you give yourself the best possible chance to avoid a much, much more expensive failure down the road. At the end of the day, that sound isn't just a random noise. It's a message.
Your car is literally trying to tell you it needs help before it's too late. So the only real question is, are you listening?